Hi everyone. After yesterday's video, I had a little bit of feedback that people couldn't see what I was doing with my hands. So what I'm going to try and do is to use this blue Venetian blind cord as the Flyline and this Dacron as the backing, so you can try and see what I'm doing. I'm also going to zoom in on my hands so that you can try and get a better idea with how I tie the knots. All right, let's get into this. To start with, we have this blue Venetian blind cord indicating the back end of the Flyline and this Dacron to indicate the backing. Now, to join them as with the nail knot, we place them side by side, tags in the opposing direction. Now we need a reasonable amount of the backing, because we take this from the tag, bring it across to make a loop. And so what we're going to do now is to wrap around the Dacron and the cord, so the Flyline and the backing, but inside the loop that we made with the backing. So we're going to wrap inside there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I haven't quite given myself enough there, but if we do that 10 times with the Dacron here, it won't matter as much. And then I'm going to use my thumb and forefinger here and pinch this tag down, so I can then start to wrap this loop. And once I've got it started to wrap, I'm going to pinch that down with my thumb and forefinger as well. So what I'm going to do with this is I'm going to wrap it in the opposite direction to what I was wrapping. So if you see this, it's wrapping around here, but as I do that, it unwraps these down this end. So it then ends up with the wraps on the outside and the line pulling straight on the inside. If we wrap these relatively neatly, it means there's less playing to do at the end of it. So once we've got all the wraps there, we hold them down and we just pull up some of the slack, and then we lubricate it with some saliva, and then we start to pull it down a bit tighter. But what we're going to do before we pull it down too tight is we're going to place it on the Flyline where we want it to be. So where you want it to be is probably about 1 centimetre or 2 from the end of it. I'm going to leave about 2 centimetres here. And then I'm going to finish off by cinching this knot down as tight as I can. And then I'm going to give it a bit of a straighten up, make sure it's all nice and straight, and then pull. Now I can pull on that as hard as I like, and that's not going to move. That's a nail knot. The Venetian blind cord works in the same way as the Flyline does, in that it's got a core and an outer sheath. So it works in a similar sort of fashion. All right, I hope that helps a little bit. What we have here is our braided loop and the end of the Flyline. So what we do with this is we get the end of the Flyline and we start to pass it into the middle of the braided loop. Once we've got 1 centimetre or so in, it makes it a little bit easier, and we can just sort of push that up the middle of it. Work it slowly by push the nylon down and then pull it down further. Push it and then pull it. Then once we reach the end here where the nylon's been fed back into it, if we had our piece of heat shrink here, we'd then pull it down over the end so that we could then use a cigarette lighter or something to heat that, and that would be the end of our thing. So you can see there, if I pull on this, It doesn't come out. It acts like a Chinese finger storm. All right. I hope that helped. Thanks, Scott. Well, thanks for watching. I hope that you found it helpful. If you like it, hit the like button or subscribe, and hope you continue to watch for more content. Thanks, everyone. See you next time.